Hello YouTube and welcome back to Transport Fever. Now you guys are probably wondering, wait a minute, this is not the Great Lakes. What on earth is all of this? Well, slight issue. My Great Lakes, there seems to be a mod in the Great Lakes series that seems to have been bugged out. Now I don't know how, because it seems to be related to something to do with the station. At least that's why I can track it down to be. But at the same time, having a look at all the updated mods from the last time I recorded, there's no station. There really is no station that's done anything. There's no update to any of them. So, whilst I try and work that out, I thought I'll give you 2 extra videos, or maybe 1 extra video, we'll have to see, showing what I did on my first ever time in Transport Fever. So this was something that I did way back in the beta of Transport Fever. I think this was in August or early September. So the game came out in November. So this is dating back to August 2016. All this work. So let's bring this up and let me show you what everything is. So here we go. Should have gone straight to that. Everything's good. So naturally there's a whole bunch of stuff that hasn't been used here, because as you can see, this is now with the new update. But there was a lot to do with this. There was a lot of things I was learning. There was a lot of things I was testing, and yeah, it was actually pretty good. So let's have a look at Milton Keynes. Yeah, so we'll start by having a look at the list of towns and what the population are. So that's the town populations. As you can see, Charlbury has the most. Actually no, it doesn't. That should, there we go. Pocklington has the most. Then we've got Durham, Exeter, Charlbury, Southall, Milton Keynes, Crayford, Ware, Waltham Abbey, Flitwick, West Ham, Wendover and Halsmere, or Haslemere. That's all the towns that I ever had on this map. It's a very small map, as you can see. This was before we had the experimental map sizes set up, so there you go. But I do have train lines going to every single one except Flitwick. I think actually there was another one, wasn't there? And Waltham Abbey. There we go. There's 2. Flitwick and Waltham Abbey don't have train lines going to it. So let me show you the train lines. Let me show you what I've set up. There we go. I'll start over on this side. Here we go. So we've got some. Let's go directly for train lines only, so you can see that. So we've got a train line here, West Ham, that runs sort of this way. That's the Pocklington branch line. So there you can see that one that runs down from West Ham all the way up that way. I'll show you where they all go afterwards. And then up here we've got another one along here, which is the which one's that? That's the Northern Line. There we go. That's the Northern Line running from Haslemere all the way up to Charlbury. We've got a whole bunch of freight lines as well running in and out of here, as you can see. And you can see that's one of my freight trains, which is only carrying 1 fuel at the moment. Not too sure what's going on here, but you know, it's been August was the last time I did that. Now that is on Exeter Oil Goods, while this one is on Charlbury Oil. I remember before I stopped this, I actually updated this or changed this train. So you can see the look of that train. I've got a double header and a train at the back. There you go, which I can actually, now I know that you can turn them around. But obviously this was way before. This is way before I did things, so, or way before that feature was implemented. So we couldn't actually turn this train around, but we can now turn these trains around on the other side. So there we go. It's carrying some fuel back, waiting for this one to trudge along, which is doing 28 miles per hour. But as you can see, there's another train waiting to come in. So this was actually quite busy, actually. So I had lots of signalling and stuff like that. This is Charlbury, as you can see, and we've got 3 lines that go into Charlbury right over here, but we've also got all these lines that go in and out. So there you go, there's one coming in, Exeter Oil Goods. And we've got these lines running in and out and around. So as you can see, that's the northern line going in there, the one that goes from Haslemere. And you've got the fast, that's the fast line, I think, in the middle. Yep, that's the West Country fast line, and that's the West Country main line. And if we look down here, you can see one of the West Country mainline trains running in and along. And as you can see, what I've done here is I had this going up, around and over, which is interestingly sort of just what I did in the last episode of the Great Lakes one. I had something going over the train line and jumping in this side. That's where I got the idea originally from. Here comes another one. That is the northern line. So now if we watch over here, as you can see, this is quite busy as well. There we go, swapping over. And it looks like there's a fast train coming in as well. So look at that, that's really, really busy at the moment. So I tell you what, we'll watch this just for a few seconds as that train comes out, this train comes in. That's pretty much all the lines I had. So I'll close that. You can have a look right here. That's the one I wanted. There we go. As you can see, that train's pretty old. But there you go. So that's actually pretty cool. This is before we had those double slip switches and everything. That one's coming in here. That one will go out there. That one will just wait until this is cleared. And then it'll be off along its way. Now remember, if I had this as a series at 20 minutes each, this one would have taken how many hours was I playing this? This would have been about 35 to 40 episodes, this series, I believe. So that's now going to cross over just over here and go right the way across. Oh no, it's not. Sorry, it's going to stay on this side. My bad. Of course it's going to stay on this side because it's along here. Now what I also did was one of these fancy tunnels. Now we can actually see through the tunnels. Well, that's a good time to see that. As you can see, and that's off towards the northern line. That's where this train's going to head off. And that's where we've got this signal just here that's holding to make sure that they hold for any trains coming in. For example, that one right there. So that one's off to the west. No, sorry, that one's off to the east. And this one's going into Charlbury. And this one's that fast train coming back, and it does carry passengers. They do. Even the fast ones do carry passengers. Tell you what, let's ride along with this one for a little bit, because we're going to go through Exeter, I think. Oh no, we're going to go straight to Pocklington with this train. We are going to pass through Exeter, but you can see the bridges we've got now. Pocklington is the one I really want to show you, because that was the one where I took the most effort. I put the most effort into there. Do we seriously have a new train available? No, we got a truck available. I was going to say, do we really have... I see some old issues cropping up still, but here is... In fact, I didn't know about that issue. So we've got a red signal up here just before, I think this is Exeter. We can also see a train just coming in just on that side over there. Now look at that one. You see it? It's one of the freight trains. Which I think this is... I'm actually quite impressed with how I did this. There's one of the West Country main lines trains. Now, interestingly enough, with this express service is having difficulty. Yeah, it's going to run into more traffic, isn't it? No, no, okay, it's clear. It's clear through that. Hopefully we go back up to... I can't remember where I went back up to 4 lines. But I did try and signal this up fairly well. Unfortunately, I don't think I've done the best job at signaling. Although this is all green, which is kind of good. So you can see that freight line actually goes over up there and over. So we're almost in Pocklington, actually. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to... Let's ride this all the way. You can just hear a train up there. Oop. You just heard a train going over. In fact, well, yeah, let's do this. We're going to go all the way through Pocklington, but we're going to continue, and then I'll come back to Pocklington. Yeah, I think we'll do that. But there you go. You can see the towns ahead of us. This one isn't Pocklington. The next one is Pocklington, I think. Yes, the next one is Pocklington. This is Durham? But you can see a whole bunch of freight lines on the side now. And yeah, things just building up. And so this is where we're going to overtake that train. Good view. And you can see I only upgraded the fast ones. These new tunnels do actually change things up quite a bit because we can see inside. It's kind of cool. But this lag, I still don't understand this lag. You can hear a diesel engine on the side. That's on the freight line, and this is Pocklington ahead of us. And as you can see already with the amount of bridges and stuff that's around, that this is some sort of major place. This is the capital of my map here, this map. And as such, it does show. There we go, we're now in Pocklington. As you can see, the bridges were a lot steeper back then. We couldn't actually build lower bridges at that point, or even have those flat bridges. They just wouldn't work properly for the roads. And that over there is the Pocklington branch line going off around that way. But you can see the amount of bridges, and we also had really high bridges because well, actually the reason I did that was, well, as you can see, we're going up. We're having a bit of a climb up here because we've got a motorway underneath us, or at least an A road of some sort, some major road that it will pass over. There you go. But not only that, we have, you can see that train over there, there's the freight lines. We've also got a freight line dipping in somewhere around here. And we've got another depot over there. And this is where we go in and out of the freight lines if we want. So you can see that. So as you can see, I did take a lot. It was a very difficult thing for me to do, this map. Like I said, it was the first time I was ever playing it. You can still see all the little bugs everywhere. But this was the absolute first time I was playing this, and it was interesting. It was very, very interesting. Now this is Southall, I think, or Southall. And this is where obviously this is how we tested for all those bugs. So whatever bugs we had, this is where they were being tested. So I remember I came up with huge bugs lists. Or bug lists. That's probably a better way to say that. You can see loads and loads of cargo waiting there to be picked up and taken away, or just to be transported. trains all over the place there. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this extra video. I really don't know when I'm going to actually fix. I don't know when I'm going to fix the issue, because I still don't know what it is. And it's kind of annoying because we were just getting to the really good stuff of the Great Lakes, and yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. Definite shame. It looks like we may be stopping at the next signal, potentially. I'm not too sure. But also here, as you can see, I believe... Yeah, I slow down to about 56 miles per hour when we're on the stone bridges. Now that was from the old... I think there's a the speed limits have been removed, or there's a mod that now removes the speed limits. This was from before that mod even existed. This was from before mods existed. In fact, this is from before technically the game existed for the public. But yeah, so that's Milton Keynes ahead of us. So I think, yeah, let's run into Milton Keynes, because there's some nicer little crisscrosses around Milton Keynes. As you can see, the freight trains do actually go on the main line for that period of time. So there is always a little bit of traffic around this area. Bit of terrain glitches. There we go. We are coming into Milton Keynes, which in real life I really don't like. Milton Keynes. But look at that, a bit of crisscrossing everywhere. A very complicated setup there. And this is the kind of setup that I'm trying to replicate in Chicago. But there we are, there we have it. We're only carrying 22 passengers at that point. But anyway, let's go up to Pocklington and let me show you something. I have no idea what all these are waiting for as well. Milton Food. Okay, Milton Keynes. They want to go to Milton Keynes. So that's that one, isn't it? Yeah. See, now it doesn't. They don't carry nearly enough, these trains. But that's okay. And as you can see, there is some traffic here. So we are going to have to wait for some things to clear. Now what this might do is it might give a fast train a chance to overtake this. Nope, there it goes. That one's just going to go through. Oh, that's because that's probably going to run on the fast line for this section. I may have done that. I may have set this one. Yep, so I set this one to run on the fast line for this section because of how slow these were. And the fact that they were swinging off in that direction. So as you can see, that's what I had when I was setting this all up. You see a pretty fancy setup over here of how trains came and went around this area. Now if we go along here, you can see that this was that food that was coming up. So if we just follow this along, you can probably see it in the distance, how much food there is waiting. And you can still see some of the bugs that are around, or that were around. Over we go. And there we go. This is where we get our food from. So another 108 food going there. We've got some Pocklington food. We've got... I can't remember how the tools got there. I cannot remember how the tools got there. So there we go. We've got all this stuff. That's the Pocklington food. That's what brings us in everything to this production factory, which is producing 640-ish at the moment. It's probably going to go up. To be honest, that's probably going to go up quite significantly. Let's have a look. 662, 680, 690, 70. Yeah, there you go. It's going up. Oh no, now it's coming back down. There we go. So it's around the 700 mark, but you know, loads and loads of food being produced. Over here now, is it the tools factory here? Or no, this is where we get our construction material from. Right? And as you can see, there's a train line that goes underneath here. which is where we get our wood from. And it buries right underneath that station, and it pops out over here, as you can see. And if I bring that up, you can just see how it curves around like that. Another tunnel just here. This was actually the last line I set up, if I remember correctly, which is why it's not doing so well. This was the last line I set up before preparing to actually start a series, because obviously we were told that we could start a series in, was it October time or something? We were told we could start a series a little bit early, and this was I ran this through all of September, and then I had to start practicing and working out what I'm going to do for a series. And there's that one that I was talking about that goes underneath. So see, that's where our oil's coming from, 44 at the moment. It's actually pretty fancy. This one's not going to be carrying much, is it? See, it doesn't really make too much at the moment either. But there's not much I can do. That's one of our food trains, I believe. Yep, that's a Durham food train. There we go. Originally, that wasn't a food train. That's why it's green. It was on a different line. It was on, if we have a look, it was on the goods line. Or is that actually the one? Nope. No, it was on a different line. I may have got rid of that line. There was another line it was on, and that line was green, so that's why we did that. Follow this one out and have a look. This is the branch line train. As you can see, it's carrying 56 passengers, which isn't too bad at all. So yeah, this is what I got up to before Transport Fever was officially released, and I thought you guys might like to see this whilst I don't have another series running properly, or at least until I fix it. Let's fast forward something. Let's get ourselves a nice screenshot to end the episode. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Transport Fever. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think of this map, and hopefully you guys did enjoy that. And as soon as I can get that fixed, what did I do here? Oh yeah, that was that. As soon as I can get it fixed, I will get it fixed for the Great Lakes, and then we'll actually work. We'll do some more over there. By the way, this is another line. As you can see, this is that northern line, the one I was talking about. And as you can see, it's got an embankment for a lot of the way. It's up on an embankment. So yeah, as soon as I get the Great Lakes fixed, it will be done, and we'll get right back into it, and we'll do a whole bunch of fantastic stuff. Last but not least, do support me on Patreon. Link to that is in the description box below. I would massively appreciate your support. It would help me out a huge amount, and just allow me to do a lot of great stuff. So I could really do with some support in there. Like I said, check out the link in the description box below. Thank you very much for watching once again. I hope you enjoyed this. I really do hope you enjoyed this, because I enjoyed coming back to this map. And I will see you guys hopefully back in the Great Lakes of Transport Fever.